everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Cheryl Muir. It's been a while, so here's a brand new video for you all about why I don't teach on twin flames anymore. I really don't focus on them anymore, but anytime I get a lot of activity here on my YouTube machine, I find that it's with regards to twin flames. There's people commenting on videos and things like that. So I know a lot of you find me and assume that, you know, I'm still on the twin flame path. Very much not. And I've never felt better, to be honest with you. So here are 3 reasons why I don't teach on twin flames anymore. The first one is I have notes and I've wrote them on a receipt, so I'm not sure if I can actually read these or not. What is the first one? Oh, be with the person versus learning lessons. Yes, this is a very important one. So the whole twin flame thing, you know, I've met this person, they're my twin flame. There seems to be, to me, this focus in the twin flame community with all this twin flame terminology. There seems to be this focus that the goal is to be with this person rather than the goal is to learn soul lessons and learn karmic lessons. I'm very much from the school of thought that this person is here to help you learn a lesson. You may be with them in a relationship, you may not end up with them in a relationship. You may evolve so much and so rapidly that you don't want to be in a relationship with them anymore. Doesn't mean you don't love them, you probably always will. But the love is like, I love you and I care for you. I also really love and care for myself, and you're not good for me. This dynamic is not good. This dynamic is not healthy. I know there's love there. I know it's there. I know it's real. And this is not healthy. I'm choosing to walk away. Now, all you twin flame purists, if you want to leave comments down below about how walking away from your twin flame is like walking away from God. Yes, I have had comments like that before. If you want to do that, please go ahead. It's a free country. You're welcome to do that. It's kind of not a free country because Boris Johnson got re-elected. That's another story for another time. Point is this. The goal with the twin flame journey, the whole point, the whole reason why you met this twin flame, and this really applies even if this person is not a true twin flame and they're more karmic, doesn't fucking matter. Actually, what matters is that you learn the lessons, which leads me to reason numero 2. Numero uno, numero deux, 2. Point 2. The twin flame terminology doesn't include any psychology. That's not intended to rhyme. The reason that's a problem is this. It's very, very spiritual. It's not taking into account things like your relationship patterns. And that's really what I teach on now. I now work as the relationship pattern interrupter, and I'm sure as I grow and evolve, that title, that focus will grow and evolve. My focus now is helping elite women gain power over the dating drama that consumes them. I'm also working with men more and more, which is really, really good for my soul and really helps them. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But the thing is about twin flames is it doesn't focus on psychology. It doesn't really focus on patterns. And the problem with that is, we're not, going back to point 1, we're not learning the lessons we're meant to learn from this person. So for example, we're going, oh my God, this person's my twin flame and I need to be with them and I need to be with them. And instead, what we need to be doing is looking at this and going, why is it so painful when I'm not with them? Why is that? Some people might go, well, you're a twin flame, that's why. No, that's not why. That is the reason why it feels so deep. But what you will find is it is hitting on a really, really deep wound. Does this mean this person's not your twin flame? No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. They might be, or they might not be. I mean, I can't tell you that. And also, if you're really, really attached to whether or not this person is your twin flame and you get so upset about the thought that maybe they're not, then that's something to look at too. Like, why are you so attached to that particular label? There's nothing enlightened about that. There's nothing enlightened about making one person more special than the other person. Well, they're a twin flame and they're a karmic partner, so let's just dehumanize the karmic partner. What fresh hell is this? No, we're not here for that. So that's another reason why I don't teach on twin flames anymore. And how ironic, really, that I make a video about why I don't talk about twin flames and why I don't teach about them, and I am indeed teaching on them now, but I'm giving you the reasons as for why. The whole twin flame thing really doesn't take into account psychology, which is why on my own twin flame journey, of which it is documented right here on the YouTube machine, I've also coached women and men on this when they've been having a very strong soul-to-soul connection with someone, twin flame, karmic or otherwise. It's why it was really helpful for them when we actually started looking at their patterns. Like, this is, if you're If basically heal what hurts. Heal what hurts is the mantra here. If them being away from you is bringing up absolute immense pain, then it's worth looking at. Do you have an abandonment wound, right? What was your childhood like? That's the psychology piece that I'm talking about. Let's go back and talk about what your life was like age 6 and below, right? Let's also look at those teenage years between the ages of like, what kind of preteen, I suppose, like 12 through to about 15. They're really formative years. Age 0 to 6 in this lifetime, 0 to 6, we're really forming an idea of who we are in the world as a being. And ages 12 to 15, we're really forming an idea of who we are as an adult. So they're very psychologically formative times. The whole twin flame shtick doesn't look at any of that. So we're missing out a massive piece of the pie. We're only looking at this, the spiritual component. We're not looking at the other different factors, which leads me on to point 3. Is that right? Point 3. Point 3 is that there's a lot of spiritual bypassing. Spiritual bypassing is when we're saying, oh, well, I'm doing this because he's my twin flame, or it's fine because he's my twin flame. Things like, for example, the person who was my twin flame, were they really a twin flame? Were they not? I think they were, honestly. But if someone said, hey, they weren't, I'm not bothered. I know that I had a massive psychic awakening. I had this telepathy with this person. I know that it accelerated my growth. I know that I wouldn't be doing this work if it wasn't for having met him and really healed my own relationship stuff and gained power over my own dating drama that had been going on my entire life. It was so intense with this person, I was forced to look at it. And because of that, I then created this body of work that is now helping other people to do the same. That's amazing. I'm really, really, really grateful for it. If I'd have stayed in this sense of, I've got to be with him, it wouldn't have happened. And also, this person was married, this person was married. And so I was buying into all the twin flame terminology of like, he's my divine masculine and she's the karmic partner. Well, no, he had a wife. He had a wife. So what was quite illuminating was to look at why it was I went for men that were unavailable. Why have I attracted someone who I can't have? What belief is that reflecting in me? Well, it's reflecting a belief that I can't have love, that love is difficult. It's mirroring a lot of stuff I went through as a kid. I had to look at a lot of father stuff, which was very painful and very difficult. Now, that being said, I have a beautiful relationship with my dad now, and that's great. When I was younger, not so much. I had to look at that. It was really painful. And so when we do this whole spiritual bypassing of, well, he's my twin flame and she's the karmic partner, well, it might be worth looking at, is this a pattern? Is this the first time? Can you honestly say, hand on heart, this is the first time that you have been attracted to someone who is not available in some way? Not available, let's break down what that means. They're married, have a fiance, have a girlfriend or boyfriend. They do not want a relationship with you. How many fingers am I now? 5. They live somewhere else. That's a classic one. That's a very sophisticated way of picking out someone that's not available. So you're like, yeah, they're single and they're great and they're perfect. They just so happen to live in Australia. Well, you live in England, so how's that going to work? Right? I had that myself. Why is it I've chosen someone that isn't really available, isn't really here, isn't really present, either through geography, relationship status, personal choice, what have you? So it's worth looking at that. It's very much worth looking at those patterns. And so, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's why I don't teach on twin flames anymore, because I really felt like it was just a really small slice of the pie. And when you make it the entire pie, that is a problem. And, I know there's going to be people that strongly disagree with me on this. What I know to be true is, once I stepped out of that world and I looked at it from a more balanced perspective, I healed. And I know how painful it was for me at that time. I know what I experienced was very real. It was profound. It was spiritual. It was beyond anything I could actually explain to you in words. I do think it was a genuine twin flame experience. And, I hope he's doing okay. I really do. It also wasn't healthy for me. And, stepping away from that and really healing myself brought me a lot of peace. And I hope that if you're watching this and some small part of you goes, I think she might have a point, then I just invite you to do that and to look at the patterns. The patterns are what the lesson is. That could either be a karmic lesson or just a plain old life lesson, It's the same thing anyway. Balanced thinking when it comes to twin flames is looking at this person and going, I know there's a deep spiritual connection here. Could be a twin flame, not really sure if it is or isn't. I know there's a deep soul to soul connection. I know that. And I know there's some shit here that's not healthy. I know I have some patterns. I know he or she has some patterns. And I want to look at that. There's also a bit of a romanticizing of dysfunction. You know, oh, well, they're from a completely different background and wouldn't it be so great if we got together? I mean, yeah, but again, isn't that just a way of choosing someone that's not available? Choosing someone with whom it makes love difficult. Love's not difficult, love's not hard. But when we have that belief, we kind of create all these stories about how it has to be really, really difficult, and we meet these people who we can't have and whom we have to overcome these massive hurdles. Not to say, you know, if two people are from a very different background and those two people being together means that their community starts to change their mind about people from different backgrounds, same genders, all of that, which I think in 2019, nearly 2020 is fairly widely accepted, you would hope. You know, that can obviously have a really big impact, and I don't want to downplay the impact of that. But is that the case with you and this person? Are you really changing people's ideas about what love is and what a relationship is? Or are you just lusting after someone that you can't have? Could be both, right? Those are the three things. So those reasons again. The first reason I don't teach on twin flames anymore is because there's this focus on I've got to be with this person instead of learning the lessons. The second is that the twin flame terminology really doesn't include any kind of psychology, like looking at your own trauma, your own childhood, etc. And the third, very closely related, is spiritual bypassing. It's not really looking at your behavior and just excusing everything with this blanket of twin flame. Well, we've got to take personal responsibility. There's nothing enlightened about behaving really badly or them treating you like shit and going, oh, well, they're a twin flame, so it's fine. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's what I think and feel. You know, I met this person about 2.5 years ago, and I have to say it has been an accelerator. I've personally been doing the work for 10 years, so it's not like when I met this person I was like awakened, like I was already very much awake, but my path was accelerated. I'm genuinely really, really grateful for that. What I also know is the pain I went through, the dark night of the soul I went through, was absolutely real and profoundly difficult. I wouldn't change anything on the journey other than perhaps doing the work a little bit sooner, doing more psychological work than spiritual work, because that's balanced thinking, that's balanced adult thinking. I have a strong soul connection with them, and I'm also going to look at my shit, right? And like I said, when you do this, when you look at that, you may find that the connection actually is not as strong anymore, because that strong pull to them is your souls pulling towards each other to learn the lesson. That's the soul contract. That's why sometimes there's this deep magnetism, because how else would we learn the lesson? How else would we notice them? How else would we have our stuff shown to us in that mirroring that happens, unless it was so overwhelming? And then when you've done the work, you will still, in my experience at least, you'll still, you know, get messages from them psychically, and they'll probably still appear now and again in a dream, or in, you know, messages through songs, or however it used to happen for you. Probably still get that. I know I do now and again, but it's not like, oh my God, it's just like, okay, I acknowledge it, right? And it doesn't have that strong, oh my God, feeling anymore, because I've learned the lesson. And so now the lesson's been learned, that strong pull, that magnet shit that goes on, it doesn't happen anymore, because I've learned the lessons that my soul signed up for, and they were fucking hard lessons to learn. And I know there's gonna be some people that go, oh, well, that's not a true twin flame. I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter, because I've reached a point when I'm actually happy within myself, and my life's in a good place, finally. And it's been hard. It's been really, really hard. And if you're on this journey now, know that it gets better. And I really invite you to look at the more psychological stuff. Yeah, and that's all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you want to find out more about me and the relationship pattern interrupter work, you can find me on the socials. I'm mainly on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter. My handles there is Cheryl J. Muir, and my website is cherylmuir.com. And I'll see you next time.